Not all of us are ever going to be the champion, but we can go the distance. We can put up a great fight. Nothing's braver than knowing you're going to lose. You're going to take a beating. You're done. But if you stood up to this class bully, you did something that no one else had the guts to do. You want to leave some footprints, on the canvas of life. And they don't have to be big ones. Everyone doesn't have to be a world champion. It's just the fact that you gave it your best. Because that's the Rocky philosophy. He never expected to be a champion. He just wanted to go the distance and have a little dignity. And that's pretty much the ongoing theme. They come into you through millions of years of instinctual development, culturally, spiritually, and actual genetic development. They know how to push the maternal button. I don't give it how tough you are. We all need it. To be a great man, you need to be nurtured in the proper way, reinforced, pushed, validated, loved, and also reprimanded when you're not doing what you should do. God is a very, very strong element, a cohesive element. But there's always a but. You ever try praying to yourself? Put yourself in abeyance, not in the mirror, but go, okay, this is what I want. You can call it positive reinforcement. There's so many different terminologies for that, but actually look at you, request something. When you're in fear of something, I pray to you not to be afraid. I pray for you to be successful. I pray for you to have proper knowledge and sympathy for the planet in general. To you, not something other, which is great. But narrowing it down to you praying to you, I think is an interesting concept. Keep punching. I've known a lot of people that in real life are not so nice, but the perception is incredible. They're very smart. They didn't go toe to toe. They went around. They navigated. They went left when you expect to go right. They went low when you expect to go high, and vice versa. Instead of throwing a roundhouse hook, they walked away. And you go, oh, wow, I thought he was going to unload on me. No. And right away you put people at ease, and then you get your point across. Like Apollo Creed says, be a thinker, not a stinker. Use your brains to get ahead and not your muscles. Be tactful, clever, ingenious. Even the guys that are billionaires, they started out as underdogs. No one gave it to them. Someone in the family perhaps had to earn it and pass it on. But that first one, the guy that went into the unknown, unprepared, but prepared mentally, but perhaps unprepared for what was going to come at him from so many different directions. And when I say that come at him, I mean those obstacles that wanted to defeat him, including his own fear, and they were overcome. So, as Rocky would say, it ain't over till it's over. I had a very tumultuous upbringing, very physical, and rough father, rough everything. And I was thin. I just was not genetically, what would you say, a mesomorph. I was an ectomorph.
Yeah.
Thing. And I went to see a film one day, and it altered my life completely. It was Steve Reeves in Hercules Unchained. And when he struck that pose, I had an epiphany. I went, that's who I want to be. That's a man. That's, oh my God. And I ran out of the theater after that and went to a junkyard and started lifting little brake drums or anything that I could lift. It was like 30 pounds, whatever. And I never stopped. And I did build on armor. It was like, I felt I could really take care of myself. I could inflict punishment rather than take punishment. And I never stopped. But I always felt that a lot of guys, it's a lot of action guys, have no heart. And you can see in their films, all they do is kick ass. They never get hurt, ever. Not a bloody nose. And that's not real. The audience can't relate to that. Everybody gets hurt. Either metaphorically, symbolically, or physically, they get hurt. And you root for that person who gets hurt. Get up! Because we all get knocked down. And that's just a credo I've followed my whole life. That he's not a pillar of strength. He's a pillar of dominoes. It's just, I was broke. I mean, seriously, done. But it depends how well you know yourself. I knew my personality that if I sold it, that was probably $1 million plus by today's dollars. A millionaire. And someone else did it, and it was successful. I would have never forgiven myself. I would have been a broken, embittered man for the rest of my life. So I realized we have in our entire futures about 3 or 4 serious crossroads. And that was my first one. That's where a real serious crossroad, where this is life altering. And it's not about money. I know I will be destroyed, and I will destroy everyone around me. I'll be such a miserable human being for selling out. This is what the whole movie was about. It's not selling out. I just know how I work. I know what my engine will do. And I would have been, I don't want to get too overly dramatic, but I would have been dead. I wouldn't have survived it. I mean it. I would have just been so miserable that my life would have just spiraled. I know it, because I sold out. And no, because when you're broke, I actually mastered the art of poverty for a while. You figure it out. All right, we have spaghetti one day a week and this and that. I managed, and I still had this blatant optimism. But if I had sold out, oh my God. And I knew it. And they tried. I mean, believe me, they tried. This is it. This is my only chance. Because I was always getting cast as a thug. That was it. I was always beating up Woody Allen, beating up. So when I wrote this, I wrote as a thug. He's a thug. But he can't even do that well. He can't break the guy's thumbs. He can't do anything. He's really a gentle guy. I don't like to argue. I don't like stress. I don't like conflict. But sometimes you have to face the conflict and the stress and the source of that and get it out of the way. Don't keep it inside. Somehow you have to purge yourself of this thing that's eating you alive. But sometimes you just have to. Someone who's offending you. That's fair. And it takes courage. Actually, it takes courage to do a lot of things. It takes a lot of guts to stay in school. It's courage. It takes courage to get up every morning, and bravery, and pushing yourself when you don't want to go to work, to supply food for yourself and your family. It takes courage to stick your head above the crowd and voice your own opinion, even though it's not a popular one, but it's one that you feel so deep in your soul that you have to get it out. You can't go through life living on lies. Quite often, you just have to stand up and grab life by the throat and not let go until you succeed. Courage. You all have it. It's just pushing the red button. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I thought, let me try a formula. Imagine if this is what you do, you woke up, you're now a gangster. Yeah. You're in this world, but you decide, you're your same personality. You're not going to all of a sudden be the gangster guy with the dead eyes, and everyone's posing and being tough and that kind of thing. No, you're charming. You're outgoing. You're exactly the same you are until somebody crosses that line and disrespects you, and then you're back to yourself again. So I thought, why don't I just be me? You know what I mean? Try to be that. So, and which is the hardest thing to do in acting, is to actually be yourself. It sounds easy, but as soon as you're in front of a camera, you lock up. I don't care who it is. You still to this day. There's always that butterfly thing. And it takes years of learning how to, as you know, to calm down in front of the camera, where you can sit there and scratch yourself. I don't always feel like, what do I do with my hands? That kind of thing. Well, that's what has happened in this show, that I'm basically playing me as the fella who's a gangster, but he's also charming and nice. He's not trying to be threatening. But if he's threatened by other bad guys, then you see him kick into gear.